everybody, thank you guys for coming. So this talk is about video in hip-hop dance. My name is Tony. I'm very bad host, but anyway. So we have really great guests today for this talk, so I'm happy. I'm gonna give the mic to everybody to present themselves first.
It's not only the people on stage, there's more around, but there's no more space. Hi, my name is B-boy Lamine, I'm from France. I'm a B-boy, and I'm getting slowly to photography and video, and I'm half or quarter part of Yak Films. Yeah. And yeah, well, I'll give more information later.
What's up? My name is Kash. I'm from California. I'm a member of Yak Films as well. I host a TV show. I dance. I do all styles, but I b-boy as well. It depends on the song, you know how it is. So, it is. It's an online TV show.
What's the name?
Oh, the name is Yak Like You Know. What's up? My name is Yoram. I'm from California in France, and I'm part of Yak Films. I'm a filmmaker and a photographer too.
Hey, my name is Mason from Australia. I do a movie called Seven Shadows. I've been filming for like 15 years. And I do photography, and I do a jam called Shadow Wars in Australia and Hawaii. And yeah, just gotta love the culture.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Soul Trotter. Half Bulgarian, half Kurdish. Reside in Amsterdam. I'm a actor, b-boy, filmmaker, and founder of Rocky Soul Session.
My name is Menno. I'm a b-boy and a photographer.
Hi, hello, my name is Kemp. I'm the creator of Style2 website, and I'm not a dancer, just a passion.
Cool, so I want to ask you guys, what's the importance of video today in b-boy scene for a dancer, for a promoter, and also how online videos influence the scene?
I'll give it to Yoram, I think. I'll give it to you since.
What's the question again?
What's the importance of
video today
in the b-boy scene?
Okay. Yeah, in the dancing scene. I mean, for the b-boy scene, I think it's like a whole different answer than from the dance scene in general, but they're related. I think online videos have changed b-boying like forever in a way, but the fundamentals of b-boying are still strong when they're represented in live events like this in the community. But online, I think there's a whole new generation of b-boys that are learning completely online, and the older generation kind of sees that as a destruction of the culture in some ways. But I think online, in the end, is going to bring those two groups together, because online is the real place where they can really interact when they're spread out all over the world. So a lot of the roots of it are in America, but a lot of the kids that are out there don't get to see that live. So online is their only mode of communication, but communication can go both ways. And so when the older generation starts communicating online better, because it's a new tool for them, they don't know how to communicate through online. When they learn that, and the kids will be able to learn, you know, the roots of it too. Is that the question?
And I think it's bigger than that. I think it goes to the point of saying that like a lot of people kind of start b-boying specifically because of two reasons. It's either people in their family are dancers, or it's like when I started dancing, it was because I downloaded a video of it on accident. It was like a recap of like BOTY like 2001 or something. And I was like, what, that counts as a dance move? People doing head slides and all kind of stuff. And so I think it even goes beyond like, you know, like you know, he's biting that move, and you know, there's e-boys and stuff like that. It's like people are really getting to see what's happening in other countries, because that's how I knew about Euro Battle or about a lot of big events that were happening. Where the IBE was from watching videos online, like having DVDs, and from being able to see videos and know who like the heroes of it are, and like kind of creating your own style, but you know, seeing interviews and stuff of them. It's all stuff, you know, all that is stuff that I saw online. So that's something that I thought was important to me as a dancer growing up.
When I first got into the dance, it was before YouTube, and I had to stay up. Being in Australia, far away from the culture, like it's very new there. We used to like have this music video station that had like just music videos the whole way from 12 midnight to like 8 o'clock, and I used to record that and cut up all the dancing, and you know, like it's almost like a mixtape, you know. So that's how we used to practice and learn the dance. So I think it's important, like to have a bit of control now with the dancers in the community and the people that are doing like film, because there's some people that don't dance, and they kind of like have a lot of power to move the next generation, and I think it's really important that we have like a bit of control over that, knowing all the elements and all the people, all the old school, and you know, having the history and injecting that and keep feeding people in a positive way like that. I think that's really cool. Like,
I just want to state that if it wasn't for photography and if it wasn't for videos or film, I wouldn't be breaking. And I bet you 90% of the people here in the room wouldn't be breaking. If it wasn't for Martha Cooper making that picture, putting it in the newspaper, it wouldn't go around. If it wasn't for the early movies, people wouldn't know about breaking. It's really as simple as that. I don't think it's about controlling, it's about collaborating. You know, if somebody's a filmmaker and he's into, you know, dancing or whatever, and he doesn't dance himself, it's great. But it should be a mutual respect. And it's not about one controlling the other.
Hooch, can you please say a little something? As no, but it's for this question. As a promoter, no, later. So the question is, how is what is the importance of videos and hip hop scenes and as a promoter? Yeah. All right, think first. Ready?
Yeah.
Good.
We started videoing in '96, the first one, and we did the first DVD in 2000. We did the DVD, and part of the popularity of B-Boy Championships has been spread by the videos and the DVDs. So that's pretty important. We have worked with people outside the scene. I don't know if anybody's seen the manga 98. Anyone see that? It was like, we worked with a company who said that they could do a brilliant video, so we said, all right, cool, we'll work with them, and then they presented something that was really horrible, and we said, well, that's not good enough, you have to redo it. So they gave an editor a room and a gram of coke, and he sat up all night editing. And he created the first Flash video. It was just horrible. So then afterwards we realized we have to kind of work with people in the scene, you know what I mean, to develop the videos and the DVDs, and that's what we're kind of trying to do. Even though we might pay for the hardware, like the cameras and the OB, we want to work with people like Tony and Lamine, and you know what I mean, people who know the culture, so they can film it in the right way. Because nearly all the time that we work with like really proper professional cameramen, they'll say, well, we know what we're doing, and then they just zoom straight in on the head when there's a head spin or foot, or you know. So we feel it's important to try and create an environment where filmmakers from the scene actually are involved in producing the finished product, whether it be for YouTube or for video or DVD, and hopefully for film.
Thank you. Kemp?
So I travel a lot, and everywhere I went, many b-boy just learn b-boying by the video they saw. So I think it's very important, the video, and also for the people who film, it's important to know what you're going to show to everybody. Back in the day, I used to put a lot of video of power move, and I think it was not the best way to show the b-boying, because a lot of people get only in the power move by this, just showing just few videos of power moves. So I think you need to show everything, and it's important for people who film to know what they do.
Do you guys have any questions? Storm, oh my God. Storm, please.
Thank you. Okay, see, coming from a time where my mother used to call me every time. You see, I was practicing upstairs in my room, and my mother used to call me every time when there was something on television. We had no VCR in the days, so I was running down real quick to see the TV. You know, to where we are now, where we have the biggest archive in the world, the internet. See, back in the days, everything was very limited. So like I said, you got a glimpse, like you saw 10 seconds of something, and then you could only try things, because you can't even repeat it. You can't even like rewind and see it again or something like that. You know, all this has changed. The way we started back in the days, and every other b-boy too, since most of them are self-taught, and we all learn autodidact, whatever you want to learn, you learn. So whatever you guys bring out, whether you want to control it or not, it's not working. Everybody with this archive that we have, you will always suck up the things that you like and go from there. So it's like, there's no right or wrong. It's like, even when I see some really whack UK B-Boy Championships 1998 tapes or something like that, it doesn't matter. I always see the good within it. I take the good things and I make it work for myself. And I think that's how everybody else is working as well.
One more question, maybe? Good, next.
I want to ask you guys how you think how to use this medium properly. Like, if you are, for example, a dancer, and how to do good video to promote yourself, or how to do good creative videos, and if you're a promoter, how to manage all the video, your video communication online, in your opinion.
See, you guys probably don't know, but in 1993, Swift Rock and me, we brought out the first videotape for sale ever. We were the first ones. So no, back in the days, for us, what was important, it's like you just stated, you know, like we wanted to make sure that the guys are seen on the videos were the first guys who did something, who contributed. So that was back in the days. If you see the tape now, it's called BBoying 1. We called it B-boying because back in the days everybody called it breakdancing. So we wanted to make a statement there already, like with the pocket, you know, with the jacket of the DVD. Well, back then it was a VCR, now it's, you know, it was a VHS, now it's a DVD. We wanted to make sure already that the statement is right, so we called it B-boying. The second one was called With Swift and Storm in Norman form. And you know, it showed us traveling the world, dancing on the street and everywhere. So already there, you know, see, we wanted to show people what we were about, and you know, like a lot of it spawned off in the newer generation after that. Now, and then in '96, I brought out the first solo tape ever, the B-boy solo tape ever, the first Storm tape with me doing headspin in the front cover and stuff. And for that time, it was very important for the culture, I think, because friends told me. What happened, I was just practicing, I was filming myself, and then other guys were saying like, look, this is really important, you know, you should bring it out as a video. I did it, and not for marketing reasons or anything, it was just because, you know, I got injured back in the days, and I thought I was never going to be I was never going to be able to break like that again, and that's why I brought out the footage. But it was very, very relevant. So I think it's always a question of time. If you ever heard about the term zeitgeist, then you know what I'm talking about. If you bring out a video that's dated, it's not going to be important for the culture. If you bring something that is ahead of its time, you might have a problem too. You have to find something that is doing good right now and right here. So from a marketing level or whatever you're thinking about, That's the most important thing. Okay? Give it back.
What's the question?
Question was how to use this medium properly, the video. For example, as a dancer, how do you think if you're a dancer and want to promote yourself, how to deal with video?
I think he means like don't film a battle like whack moving and like oh it's so good oh and then put it on YouTube.
Thank you for that, I mean. So I'm actually not a dancer, but somehow I learned how to film in a way that dancers liked, because I kind of came at it really fresh, like not having a professional background in video. And I think that's important in terms of how you film the dancing, because a lot of the people that come from a TV background will do the kind of filming that you were talking about, where they'll want to zoom in on something, or even sometimes I've seen people tilt the camera and do that 80s kind of look. And you would only do that because you learned how to do that somewhere, and because that was the visual landscape that you grew up in. That's what you think you want to imitate. And so in the same ways the b-boys are learning from these videos, I came at it like not really knowing what this was supposed to look like. There was like, if you study b-boy videos that he's talking about from before YouTube, they look like TV, but someone that doesn't do it well, like bad TV, because it was cheap TV. And today it's not TV anymore. Today it's YouTube, and there's no set format for how that should look. It's whatever you want it to be. So if you come at it very fresh and just thinking, what does this visual thing need to look like when I transfer it to a video or photographic medium? There's no rules to that. But if you let the dancing speak for itself, like it's based on the dance style, then you gotta study the dancing, because you can't film a b-boy the same way you would film a stand-in dance, or you can't film locking like you would film popping. And you have to think about what are the moves, like what is this interested in from multiple angles? Is this like a straight arm kind of dance? You know, like there's many different ways to look at it, and there's really no rules. So I think the best strategy is just to be very confident in the sense that nobody can tell you what this is supposed to look like, because the dancers themselves will tell you that a different room could make a different dance for them. You know, like outside could be different than inside, a big event, a small event, dancing in their bedroom or dancing in front of people. It can be a different emotion, a different experience each time. So as a filmmaker, you need to sort of try to capture that in whatever you're doing.
You know, we're all just the same, and I think that when you see someone that is normal and you see them grow as a human being and be better and better and better, like I think that for me is really inspiring. And then, you know, there's all different ways to hook like the young kids that never seen dancing either, you know, like it could be something really flashy and quick, and you know, our train of thought is very, you know, our concentration is just like totally different as these young kids coming up. Like they see something and either they draw it up and they sponge it, or they just like move on to the next thing, because there's so many different things. And yeah, I think that you just need to like do whatever you got to do, like take from everything and flip it and do something that's attractive to people that have been in the dance for a long time. Always got to try and do something different. And yeah, just always pay your respects and don't exploit the dance too much. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. There's no set rule indeed, but there is a way of using and abusing the power of the camera. Now it's up to the person himself if he does that or not. Second of all, it's all a personal view and a personal vision of how you want to use the camera and do the things with breaking. At the end of the day, it's movement. So if we're talking about movement, capturing on film or on camera, that's a specialty. Even the film academy people or the film people are not skilled to do that most of the time. I like to make the comparison to Kung Fu movies. Do you want to make the Karate Kid movie, or do you want to make Once Upon a Time in the West, or in China, I mean? So it depends on the maker and his vision, how he wants to portray the dance, the movement, and the culture. And for me, that always has been my vision, to make something like a Once Upon a Time in China or whatever.
Thank you. I want to.
Hi, my name is Leo Shao, photographer from Paris. I was a B-boy too. And I was thinking to ask about all the video maker, how it's gonna work, like for example, because now the society makes like a lot of camera is available for everyone. So all the B-boys, you know, really coming from the underground and the dance, they're starting all to make videos for that. So are you not scared like to lose kind of your position about the thing that all the dancers starting to do it and they learned how to do it? And so I want to know what do you think about the future about this? So maybe we go back, like we can think that the dancers got the real authenticity about this, or how does it work?
No, there's no position in film and hip hop dance. Like, the reason of the success of like my company, for example, is because of YouTube. And YouTube is like the most unpredictable monster you'll ever come across, because every time you make a video on YouTube, you're competing with like a cat that just shit on himself, or a turtle that's walking on one leg, or like a grandmother that fell down, or some dude that got beat up in school. You know, like you can't really try to come at it thinking, how am I gonna get seen on that? And so it kind of flips it around, and you have to be like, how can I truly represent like a human emotion onto this medium? And that's what people are going to respond to. The most seen video on YouTube is like some kid biting another kid's finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you try to compete with that and you're a grown man, you need to get a real job real fast. You know what I'm saying? You can't survive that way. But the thing is, like, if you look at it from the point of view of what human emotion can I convey, because every time you film a video, you're that one person filming that video, right? And if you're the only one, then that's just you. If you're at an event and there's like 30 million people, you're still at one perspective, that one angle. Nobody has your look on what's happening. And if that look somehow conveys the emotion of what was happening at that moment, people will gravitate towards that video. They don't have a choice, because they're like, what was it like to be there? What was the feeling? And it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be in the first row. You don't have to be all the way back. You don't know if it's a zoom, if it's a wide angle. There's no rule. You don't know which video is gonna really give you that experience. But if that's what you look for, then maybe you'll find it if you know how to film and stuff.
It's not about what you have, it's about what you do with it. Exactly.
On YouTubes that are successful, right? And I think that it's a combination of doing well in your own personal creations with your videos, and then being in a public eye and representing yourself well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they made it onto big TV shows and representing themselves, and then people come online to find more information about that. You know what I mean? And so I think if you make good enough videos, maybe people find them online, but I think there's way too many dance videos nowadays that are made for people to find out about you as a dancer just from online. Like every once in a while, you'll see someone posting like a crazy, solo trailer of like a b-boy or something like that. But everyone has one now. You know what I mean? And so I think how you can really get seen is to kill it at battles like people used to do. You know what I'm saying? And then people they hear your name because you keep getting called, you make it to the finals or whatever, you win, and people search for that name online and they find out more information about you, and they maybe even subscribe and want to see other videos that you post of your own battles or something like that. But I think that it's hard nowadays to just be a dancer in a dance video and to become famous or to make a living or something from that. Like a dancer's life is a hard one, because it's more than just promoting yourself. You have to be a performer. You have to be, a speaker. You have to be many things, And so I think making dance videos can help you to understand that and to understand like entertainment and about promoting yourself correctly and showing yourself in the right light. But it's much more than just making a dope dance video 1 or 2 times. No holds.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I've been a person who has been making a lot of films also of myself. It actually started out with me making a trailer of myself, and people liked that. And they were like, oh, damn, can you make our trailer? Can you do this? Can you do that? And next thing I know, I'm making free promos for everybody around the scene. So I was like, oh, well, I didn't intend to do that. and then I had never seen footage of myself, so I kept on filming myself, and people blamed me for like, hey, you always put yourself in the video. I'm like, yeah, I want to, you know, it's my expression. It's the way I see things. If I see a nice architecture, I want to, you know, I want to capture it. You know, it's part of the vision, and it's not part of the promotion. Actually, it's never been part of the promotion. Yeah, the first trailer was because you want to, you want to see yourself, you want to show yourself. But at the end of the day, I got like deeper and deeper into things, and it started becoming a part of me at the end of the day. And it was also about like creative control. I've been in a lot of productions where I wasn't happy with the end result as a filmmaker or as an actor or as a dancer even, and that's where I started taking charge. And for me, it was actually all about taking charge, taking the creative control. Now I'm in a phase where I'm like, okay, it's a path about finding the right people at the end of the day that you can work with. It's all about having a creative force around you that you can create the freshest stuff with. And I'm lucky that about these 10 years that I've been doing this right now, that I have a really strong crew that always raises the bar.
So that it then leads back to your own channel. So we created our new channel, BBoyTV.com, and we're basically trying to put all the footage from the champs up that we have, and we're in partnership with IBE, so we do obviously IBE and World B-Boy Classic and B-Boy Champ, so all of that footage will go up. It will be the exclusive stuff there, and what we're trying to do is control it a little bit so it doesn't go, people aren't just filming it, because we've had situations where one guy would just sit there all night filming the champs and then put it all up on his own channel, and he was like, yeah, that's why I put it up, or he'll get the DVDs and he'll rip every single battle up and put it up on his channel. So now at least we can control that, and that's good for everybody because you can do the same thing. So if you do your own promo trailer, or there's stuff that you wanted to create a YouTube channel, you actually can manage it through YouTube. That's pretty good, because otherwise it's just like it goes everywhere. I think is that what you asking? I mean, yeah. So that's what we do. We work now. We have control of our channel. It's building. We had an interesting situation which as a promoter, as other promoters might know about, we were working with our sponsor Sony Ericsson, who are no longer with us this year. So up till last year they were saying no, we couldn't put any footage on YouTube, which is really interesting to us. So we were like, why not? Well, we only want it on our platforms, and the end result was no one was looking at it, no one cared, no one wanted to go to Sony's platform to see B-Boy, and they wanted to see it either at B-Boy Champs or find it on their own at YouTube. So now we're free of that. We can put everything up on our own channel, and we went from, I don't know, 50 subscribers straight to 6,500, and we're trying to build it to about 2 million views a month. I'm sure that's not quite as big as you guys, but we're getting there. And with the footage from this year's IBE exclusive and WBC, hopefully we'll keep building that, because our ultimate goal is to control everything. So we do our own TV program, we hire the production, even if it goes on terrestrial TV, we're in complete control of it. So we don't have to work through any other third-party TV production company that goes, hey guys, I have an idea. You know, no, we'll do it this way and it'll be dope. And we're talking about the way you film things. You know, all of us have been talking about the way you film things. We want to do it correctly. We know how to do it, we feel. And we would like to make sure that it goes straight in the way into the culture first anyway, at least that, you know what I mean? Because at the moment TV is all about reality bullshit, so you know, we're not really interested in that. I think we have the power now to create our own channels around everything that we do. And you know what, if it's only for us, then I think there's millions of us.
Like, I think it's like a really big challenge, because I agree with everything you just said, but at the same time, like, online is really uncontrollable. And like, for example, we have a deal with YouTube, so like, you're right, if someone uploads a video that I made the same exact way with the same song, I can be like, I already uploaded this. And it's a really basic rule on YouTube. It's not, you don't need to own your copyright, it's nothing complicated. You just show YouTube, I uploaded this at an earlier date, so obviously this must be copied. So they take it down like within 24 hours. That's really easy. But once your video is on Dailymotion, once your video is on like 50 sites in China you don't even know about and can't even read or access or ever search. There's no way to like control your media. So if you put it online, it's gone. It is not yours anymore. If you think it's yours, then you're gonna be in the same copyright fight as every other media agency in the world, from newspaper to television to radio to photographers to everybody who puts stuff online that thinks it's theirs is still in that old mindset of the TV production people that think that you can own your media, right? And I'm not saying you can't, because if you don't, then you can't make a living. So you need to own it, you need to try. But real success in that game is uncontrollable, because once your video goes viral, you can say you own it all you want, but that kid that's watching it in a place you don't even know, you know, on a site you don't even know, like. So anyway, I agree in both, and like I've seen. Hold on, this before, because I do actually have kind of a question, because I've seen events where it's like there is no cameras allowed. Like the first Juge Debout that I covered in 2010, they were snatching cameras like out of the crowd, and like I don't know where they were putting them, because I'd be hella mad if someone took my camera, and you couldn't film the event. And I was like, damn, that's interesting. I'd never seen that before. And I didn't even know how I got a press pass, but I was there filming and I had my little pass and they were like, okay, you can film. And everybody else, they were snatching cameras. So I got to film stuff that year that was very valuable because nobody could film. So they were like, where is the footage? And organizations, despite their best efforts, are often kind of slow in releasing their own footage, right? So it creates like a weird competition where it's like everybody wants to film and get that up right away. And then if you want to actually polish it, do it right, like hire 5 cameramen, have the angles, that's going to take production time out of that process, right? So, and then I've seen events where they say you can film, you can do whatever you want, and I don't know, you know, what the right solution is about that, I guess.
What we do? Well, basically, you can't stop people coming in with video cameras, high def phones now. You know, I mean, people can film whatever they like. It's just more a question of saying, well, you know, we're the event organisers, so come to us first to watch it. So now with Tony filming everything, even if it's one camera, we'll film that, put that straight out, and then if we do a 4-camera setup afterwards. The difference for this year's champs is we're going to do 5-camera OB, and we're going to go straight to YouTube. So it's not going to be quite live because there's licensing issues, but it's going to be almost live. So the idea is that people all around the world can watch the entire show, one battle at a time, almost live. And you're right, we're catching up with people who are filming and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And we never say to the dancers who are on stage that you can't film. Anyone can film, that's their right. What we ask is that they don't then publish all that, you know, in terms of like every battle, which has happened. But most dancers won't do that. They'll keep the footage for themselves, or they'll use it to produce their own trailers, which we also say use anything you want from the champs footage as well. It's give and take, you know.
We have one question.
Yeah. For me, I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because isn't that the hip-hop way of bootlegging and being the first person to have something and putting it out before anybody else has it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody in here has a VHS tape that they got from somebody, some old footage.
Yeah.
You know?
No, if you look at it from like a hip-hop culture perspective, copyright doesn't mean shit, because sampling is like the ultimate, you know, copyright infringement. Without that, you don't have, like, Kanye West doesn't even exist, you know what I'm saying? Most like hip-hop artists today can't even live without sampling, and like remixing, you know, from like, if you look at the root of the culture from the DJ, right? That's where it starts. That record is not, you know, if they had to own the music on the record, hip hop would have never started. You know, you can't own your music when you don't have shit but a turntable and some records. So I think from that same mindset, you can go out filming and saying, I don't have shit but my camera, but with this camera I can remix whatever I want that I film. And so at the end of the day, I don't think, you know, content ownership from a licensing perspective, that, you know, like books or music and stuff, like music is fighting that right now. Like we have, because of our YouTube channel being like more official now within that YouTube family, we can't post stuff that's copyright infringement in terms of music. But when we first started, we didn't care about that at all. Like we didn't even know that was not allowed. Like we just took, he still doesn't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? But like you have to bend the rules a little bit. And so we went from a position where like 2 years ago we were posting whatever we wanted with whatever music, and now we're at a position 2 years later where some of the music we had stolen is actually legal now. Because we talked to those artists and we're like, look, I stole your song 2 years ago, but your video made like 1 million views and all these kids are seeing your music that they didn't even know you existed. So, you know, what's up? And so they, you know, eventually music artists are like turning, you know, now there's like a YouTube Vivo or Bevo or whatever, you know, that's just for musicians like on YouTube. So as the market is shifting, like people will understand what content ownership online really means, but it's gonna be a constant struggle. So I don't think, I mean, I can't come at it from the perspective of the copyright owner really, because I've not been in that since, you know, for long enough to really understand what that means. But I know that it's linked to how I pay the rent. So I still have to pay rent, but then steal my shit, whatever.
Now that you have responsibilities and it's you have to pay the rent, your whole feelings on what you used to do now changes, correct? Because for me, like
I mean, if you mean that once you make money, you can feed yourself and pay rent, that changes your perspective on life completely.
But see,
but
I do CDs, and I'll sell 1,000 CDs.
Right.
And then after that 1,000, bootleg it all you want.
Right, look.
It just makes me more famous.
Him and me are from a city in Oakland, and a city in California called Oakland,
Right,
where Too Short is from.
Right.
And Too Short is one of the rappers in America that invented making it from the trunk of your car.
Yeah.
He sold records like on street corners that we filmed dance videos on.
Right.
Just doing that in the street, you know what I'm saying? And from that went to like knowing every rapper in the game and being known worldwide, you know?
Right.
And so that mentality is what gets you there. That's what is what got us here talking, and without that mentality you can't get nowhere. Especially not in hip hop culture, maybe in some other culture.
So exactly.
And you guys, I want to ask the question to Mason, you guys.
Get a tripod.
The foundation of every good film or every good video is the story. At the end of the day, it's the story, it's the drama. I just got my master's degree in screenwriting because I think that's the foundation of everything. At the end of the day, I would suggest take a workshop with Spike Lee, boom, to know how to make independent stuff. Worth it.
For me, sometimes when I'm doing like event clips and stuff like that, like honestly, I have one day to film, and then I edit all night, and then it's out the next day, which is like, when you think about it, it's really, really hard to produce something that's really, really, really dope in that time frame. So, you know, and then there's films that you want to do, and you think of a concept, and like I haven't done a film, like a proper video in a long time, but I'm working on the new Seven Shadows movie, and there's the plug, but yeah, so that's going to be a lot better than my past work. Obviously, you step up every time. I just want to, like, you know, make it a little bit cleaner and a little bit more depth to it, and have interviews and people's perspectives on the dance. And I don't know, everything's been done really. Like it's only new people and new faces and new looks. You know, like I mean, we're really nothing compared to like people that are doing amazing stuff, and it comes down to your equipment. There's all different facets of editing, like from your graphics to, you know, just your baseline stuff, and you build from there. So, I don't know, like, to be original these days, like, you really need to, like, jump on the environment and the people that you're around, and ask them if they want to do something, and it's, you know, you as the filmmaker and them as the subject, you really need to have some chemistry to make something that's really beautiful, you know? So.
Yeah, just one thing for like people that are just starting, that don't have any equipment, like if you're asking yourself how to start, you're already too late. Because like the way people are going right now, it's like they don't even think about it. They pull this stuff out of their pocket, they start filming stuff, you know? So if you're really thinking about what tools you need, you're not even like really at that point in the game that's making the next wave of films, you know? Like they just got 3D on YouTube now. So I go to events and I see people with 2 little cameras next to each other filming a show in 3D. Like, you know, like it's going too fast. So I just remember that 2 years ago, we were at Battle of the Year 2009, and it's where I met most of the people in this room. So 2 years ago, I wasn't even like a blip on the radar, but one thing was different from everybody else in the room is I had a Canon 7D in my hand, and it had come out like a week before. Nobody in Europe even had that camera. And I was the only one at that event with that camera, and I know there was 5Ds and other cameras that could film, but people really weren't doing that. 2 years later, count how many like Canon or Nikon cameras you see at the event that can film, and it's like the majority of people that think they're doing something, right? So, and that are, you know, but like in 2 years that happened. You know? So I don't really know what the cameras is that you're gonna need in 2 years, you know, now, you know. So I don't really know, like, you just have to start filming, just do, I don't know.
Filming.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Just put the camera in your eye.
Thank you. We can maybe have some 5-minute quick Q&A. Quickly, if some people have questions.
I have a question. Okay, so you guys, I need a mic. You guys think because everybody's at the event, they're not looking at the event, everybody's looking at the small screen in front of their eyes. Do you think that people are not enjoying the shows to the fullest anymore because everybody has a camera?
You have to think about it this way, like, people are raising their kids right now, right? But half the time when they're raising their kids, they're taking photos and filming their kids, right? Does that change the way they're parenting their kid? Like, our whole society is completely caught up in like filming and taking photos of everything. And with hip hop, it's been like that from the beginning. And that's part of, as you were saying, like how it spread, you know, in the very beginning was through media. So that experience has always been through the media. Like, the people in the first hip hop scenes in New York didn't have cameras so, like we have today, so they weren't filming everything. But if they had, they would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you have at that time, whatever you feel like doing, that's what you have to do. So that experience is your experience regardless. If you want to look at it through a camera, like, I'm filming the event, you know, today and tomorrow and after tomorrow. I'm still gonna live the event. I'm gonna look up every once in a while. I'm not trying to film everything, it's impossible, you know? So film what you need to film and then put it down. If you're a dancer, go dance. You know, if you're a drinker, go drink. If you like to smoke, there's a coffee shop down the street. So you can do whatever you want, you know, like your experience of it is your experience.
Thank you.
Oh no.
I just want to know about your inspiration. You don't speak about the creativity, so I just want to know what inspires you the most. The dancer, the music, making, I don't know, cinema?
Movies.
Sex?
What? I think for us personally, I think a lot of the inspiration comes from the people who we're around, and just like being inspired by them loving what they do and wanting to show that off to the rest of the world. And then the other thing I would say is the music. I think that the music really, when we hear the song, we're in our head, like always thinking of things. And sometimes, you know, for some people it's a music video, or for a dancer it's a dance video, or for a filmmaker that films dancers, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that music and the people who you're around are kind of what inspire us for our dance videos personally.
I just want to say only one word: hip hop. It's my inspiration.
I'm totally agree with what you said. Me, I would like to add one big inspiration for me is other street cultures like skateboarding, BMX. There is a lot of great videographers releasing in those topics, and I think they are really creative, and they always come up with great concepts. So to me, it's a great inspiration. Also, I will add a lot of commercials who are pretty good, like Nike commercial, Adidas commercial. Like, to me, it was a great inspiration. Yeah.